Hello, everyone. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know, especially if you are one of my loyal listeners that is looking for a little bit more, I've created a paid subscription option for the podcast for 99 pence per month. On top of this being ad-free and just purely being the essence of the episodes, I will be doing bonus episodes, some personal update episodes, and we'll also include any information, invites into any virtual workshops or online things that I do in the future. So if you fancy it, check out the show notes below with the link and enjoy the show. Hello everyone. Quick one from me before we get started today. One of the reasons you might be listening to this podcast is because you feel slightly lost or a bit stuck in life right now. Over the last 18 months, I've been building a self-led ebook course for you based upon overcoming this feeling. It might be that you're frustrated that you're on this hedonic treadmill of life, despite the fact that you've been working on yourself for a while. And with the experience should come solutions. Or simply put, you're just not where you thought you'd be at this point of your life. And this makes you unhappy. Well, this is where it all changes for you. You take control of what you can whilst enjoying the inevitable ups and downs of life, with the peace of mind that you're doing everything you can to work towards what matters to you. I can remember feeling lost and stuck in jobs and with life in general. All the self-development content out there telling you how to become successful when all you really need to do is find out what success means to you. So, start with this course I've created for you, 30 days of you taking the time to focus on yourself. Not rushing, not living up to anyone else's expectations, just you getting closer to who you want to become and the life you want to live. Check it out in the show notes and enjoy the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Self-Improvement Project. To be honest, it feels like it's been a while since I've sat down in front of the microphone, so I feel like I have a lot of thoughts ready to spill out. I hope if you have been reading my emails recently that you are enjoying the longer form. As a lot of things that I talk about on this podcast, I am listening to what excites me, what interests me, what I'm curious about, and that longer form writing is also something I'm enjoying. As the podcast grows, not just in number of episodes, but in time as well, hopefully these thoughts are evolving and you're finding them useful and deeper in the sense of your own self-improvement as well. Today's episode is called Stop Waiting to Live. Now, the context around the title of this episode, around waiting to live, might sound simple, and you might think that you are living. However, there are times where we stop ourselves from doing the things that we really want. It might be down to a number of different factors, but we do it more than we think. We limit ourselves, we limit the true impact, not that we can have on the world, but we limit the true impact that we can have on our own lives. Think of the term a life well lived. Now, it's not around trying to squeeze every little moment possible. That's just unrealistic to even comprehend. As we know, motivation can be pretty perishable. It strikes you rather than you can just tap into it when you want. However, without realizing it, potentially even sleepwalking through life is something that we can end up doing to ourselves when we don't give ourselves that permission to properly live our lives. One sobering realization that can help you to stop waiting to live is the understanding that no one else in the world cares how you live your life. We trick ourselves into thinking that they do when they ask us how work is going, what we do when we first meet people. We create this sense of importance for ourselves that people care about how we choose to live, but ultimately they don't. And it's not an offensive thing. It is, we only care about ourselves. That is the rule. But once you realize that nobody else cares, that can help with that permission to allow you to start living. When we think that everybody cares how we live, this can coincide with regret. The reason I say this is we live by everyone else's rules. We live how other people live to stay in line. But more than not, these are things we don't truly care about. These are things that are not significant nor meaningful to us as an individual. We are all individuals and we all have our little quirks and ways that we want to live. And by staying in line, this is a way that we can live with regret. Another thing that we tend to do as humans is we usually play the common, once I've done this, or when I complete this card, is just delaying you doing the things that really matter. You're looking for endless validation from the world. But the truth here is that time of once you've done this or when you complete this, that time will never arrive. Now, I understand here that from my descriptions and setting the scene around how we commonly behave here might come across as a little bit negative or downbeat. So I'm going to twist a little bit and flip it into, instead of stop waiting to live, how do we start living? The simple answer: once you're happy with yourself. Now, this is the simple answer, but the layers underneath it are obviously complex. There is no one way to live. There is no one path that you or transcript that you should follow to live a meaningful life. All you can do is take all the things that you see and witness and experience and align them with how it makes you feel. Yes, experimenting with things is important. Yes, going through experiences, success and failure is important here. But once you start to get a bit of an understanding of who you are and accepting that, having that self-compassion, that self-acceptance of who you are and who you're becoming, that gives you that happiness with yourself, and that's when you'll start to live. We think that once we have validation in our lives for who we are, that we will be free, we will have freedom, and that we will have peace of mind. But you actually, in fact, need nothing to achieve those things. You need zero validation, you need no freedom, and you don't need any peace of mind to achieve any of these things. it is all down to your own perception. For example, right now, if you're happy with how you're living, you will have peace of mind without even realizing it. You will be free without even realizing it. And the most beautiful thing about that is that nobody can take that away from you. There's previous episodes that I've done, maybe even a couple of years ago, talking about choosing to be happy. It's all about your own perception, and the most common things with the most beautiful things in life are that when we have them and when it is happening, we don't realize it. You don't stop and think, I am so happy right now. You don't stop and think, I have complete peace of mind right now. You don't stop and think, I feel really fulfilled right now. You don't stop when you're in flow of doing a task or exercise thinking, I'm in flow right now. You never stop with these things. And that's potentially one of the most beautiful things around it. You might never feel like you achieve it in that moment. You're not working towards it because it is unattainable. But you will experience it, even if you don't realize. It's also worth asking yourself the question of how you would spend your time each day if you knew you'd achieve none of the things that you want to. That can be quite a liberating question as well. All of these really important things that you're working towards to become validated and become happy. What if you weren't going to achieve those? What if right now you knew all the effort that you'd put in wasn't going to make you achieve anything within that sphere or task? How would it make you feel? Would you give up? Or would you keep going? Would it change based on the points made earlier around living up to others' expectations? The point around validation or peace of mind? Was it worth it because you have the conscience knowing you put your all into this and that this is actually how your time is best spent? That zero outcome expectation can sometimes be the thing that allows us to truly enjoy life, to truly feel interested in our day-to-day living. Coming to terms with that you might never be seen as successful by others, accepting this, and then choosing to live anyway can be a pretty freeing realization. And that's us today. So stop waiting to live. Nobody cares about how you live your life apart from you. That time when you think you'll be ready will never arrive. You need to accept yourself and be happy in order to start to live. You don't need validation. You don't need freedom. You don't need peace of mind. They will come as a result of you being happy with yourself, choosing to spend your time with the things that interest you. They will come, but you won't know when. So I hope you enjoyed that today. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you all next time. Cheers. Hey guys, me again. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and if you're not ready for the Becoming Unstuck in 30 Days self-led course quite yet, why don't you try my free ebook I created? 5 simple steps to improve yourself and your life. I made this during the very first lockdown of the pandemic in the early days of the Self-Improvement Project. It's a quick go-to when you're feeling unsure what to work on when improving yourself or your lifestyle. And the great starting point if you're trying to figure out how to live a more fulfilling and simple life. The link for this will be in the show notes for you. Have a good one.